Your manifestation, your wish fulfilled is not at all about the stuff and things, but the state of the field that you are energetically resonating at. My name is Lucian Francois Mateo St. James. Thank you for co-creating this moment with me. This transmission is brought to you by and is courtesy of the Electric Temple. And I'm here to encourage you in knowing with empowered conviction the truth of your transcendent divinity, coming to understand the power of your I am as the only source, as the only truth. You are God, you are divinity incarnate, you are the all that is. And talking about God as the presence that animates and is of, that constructs, that consists of, that is the source of all things. And isn't it such a controversial statement to say that I am God? I mean, like just walk around. I mean, I guess it depends on the relative reality you've created for yourself and the people that you spend your time with. But maybe walk up to someone who's been uninitiated or who is maybe still in the quote unquote sleepwalking state of consciousness or a lower vibration, tell them I'm God. I might send the Pope after you, or priest, get you exercised or something like that. Yeah, but your manifestations are much more about the field that you are creating with the state of your I am. And that field consists of all of it. That field consists of, I would say, a significant, I don't like that word. It does require your diligence, I would say. It does require your willingness to commit yourself to a new series of beliefs that are in alignment, in line with your wish fulfilled. Those beliefs are made of words. Those beliefs are made of thoughts. Those thoughts and beliefs then become assumptions, meaning what you understand to be the truth. And of course, and most importantly, that state of certainty is going to create an energetic around you. So what's most important here then is not just the state of emotion, like feeling like you have it sometimes and then not feeling it other times. I'm talking about a state of self that resonates with all that you desire, resonates with being the type of person that has everything that you can desire. Because is God lacking anything? Is God missing anything? Is God wanting anything? If you wake up every morning, and I've been through this, and you're looking at what's wrong in the news, you're looking at your emails, you're looking at what you have to do, you're looking at what you thought was going to come in and it didn't come in. You're thinking about bills, you're thinking about family stressors, you're immediately thinking about the things that you haven't done that you need to do. That would tell you that you're not operating in a state with your divinity consciousness. You're operating, there's a human level of consciousness, or there's the ego, and then there's divinity consciousness, or Christ consciousness, or city consciousness, or consciousness of Buddha, the consciousness of being all that is. And it doesn't mean that we don't have in this 3D world different things and different activities and missions and different things to attend to. No, it doesn't mean that we can just sit on top of a mountain and do absolutely nothing. I would say that that's not really living divinity consciousness. But the Christ consciousness understands that there is no separation between, well, you and the person next door and the device that you're looking at. And that's why I always say thank you for co-creating this moment with me, because we are a co-creation of each other in you watching this and me transmitting to you, because I'm just another aspect of you that you aligned with to provide you with a message that helps you remember all that you are. But back to this field. So there's the field of the all that is, of divinity consciousness, of the God within, of the Christ within, which is just the understanding that everything that ever could be is already here. Everything that could ever happen is already happening. However, we have to align our awareness with that, meaning we have to choose thoughts that are in line with the intention of our manifestation, of our wish fulfilled, and energetic emotional experiences. So if I mean, I guess I would say it like this: the energetics of which you are consistently experiencing can be seen in the people around you, can be seen in the state of your job, if you have one, or, if you are, how you feel about work in general or doing things in general can be seen in the state around you. Do you regularly occupy not just thoughts? Yes, thoughts contribute to this, but a state of energy that says, I don't get what I want? Do you occupy a state of energy that says, people don't really like me? Do you occupy a state of energy that says, no matter how hard I work, I'm never going to be appreciated? Do you occupy a state of energy that says, even if I try to impress them, they're not going to see me? Do you occupy a state of energy that says, it doesn't matter what I do, it's not going to work out? Because what actually I do see, and I have seen this in my clients, is that we want the world to reflect back at us an energy, a state of, if we look at what emotion means, emotion being energy in motion. We want the world to reflect back at us a state of energy that we do not ourselves have assigned to ourselves, that we're not sitting in a state of I am, we're not sitting in a state of wholeness, we're not occupying a state of fulfillment. We are hoping, wishing, and praying that the world, this is what a lot of religion teaches as well, is that by hopefully some miraculous state of events, if you believe that all men are cheaters and liars, this man is going to be the one that proves you wrong. We want the world to do the work of setting our energy for us. So you have to decide to align your energy with, if you find people are always lying to you and are dishonest, and it's hard for you to, if you're talking to somebody, you feel like there's always kind of like a gap in communication or something that they're not telling you. Well, one, I would ask you, what do you believe about the world? What do you believe about yourself? And are you consistent and honest with yourself? Are you energetically then sitting in a state of anxiety? Are you energetically, and I'm not talking about, diagnoses or different things like that. This is not medical advice. Go eat your pills and, just find a doctor or something if that's what you need to do. I'm not telling you not to do those things. I'm just saying that even the necessity to go eat your pills would state that within there is dis-ease within me. There is something. There is a belief system in my energetic field that has continually created a series of circumstances that makes me feel as though I am at odds with my environment. So if you find that the people around me are hard to trust, well, do you trust yourself? And what do you believe about the world? And are you always, is your state of I am, is it always in this energetic emotion of what's going to happen next? What do I need to brace for? Essentially non-safety. Essentially non-safety, or I guess what's the opposite of, I think of the word. What is the opposite of non-safety? Danger. Do you feel that people, based on the things that they report to you, are always placing you in a state of danger? Are you occupying within? Because, and I'm talking about like the heart center, the heart space. Are you walking around believing that everything is out to get me? I always have to micromanage the people around me. I have to force and bend and interrogate to get the truth out of them. And that's just, one example. It doesn't have to necessarily, be about people lying to you, but are you in a state where you're always expecting the worst to happen? And then when those things happen, you then affirm to yourself, see, this is why I don't, this is why I think the way I do. Well, funny thing is that you are actually the creation, the energetic source of origin for those things happening in your life. Now, that's not to blame yourself and shame yourself, because if you created it, you can uncreate it. But what is the energetic state of your origin? So in order for you to manifest that which you desire, if you are focused on the stuff, I would first say remove your focus from the stuff. The stuff will come, yes, visualize, yes, have state of, yes, have specific things maybe that you feel would represent your knowingness and expansion of self as a creator. Absolutely. I'm not saying those things are bad, but if you want the career or the success or the job or the car or whatever it might be, but you're not in unity with your I am, and in unity being you're not focused on the separation of the human ego self. The human ego self is your avatar, meat suit, 3D characters, always looking out there for it to justify, this is what's safe for me to trust. Oh, the news said everybody's going to have a terrible day because of X, Y, and Z going on. Okay, I'm allowing that state of separation from my consciousness, that report out there, to tell me who I am inside. And in allowing that to tell me who I am inside, that then becomes the fruit of my creation. I then begin watering my garden with what somebody else told me, because I don't recognize that I am already whole, I am already complete, I am already the energetic origin spot. I was going to say sport. The energetic origin spot, the energetic point of origin in all things. And what I see in my reality is a manifestation of my chosen awareness. What am I choosing to focus on? And in choosing that focus, how do I feel? And I just feel, but what is the energy and motion inside of me? Because you can try all you want to manifest a specific person or a specific outcome. Let's say you're trying to manifest a specific person, but the energetic state of your origin, your I am, when you go inside yourself and when you sit in silence, and what you immediately feel is anxiety. Now, if you just sit with that anxiety for 30 minutes, I can guarantee you it will go away. We don't allow space for our emotions. And not that it will go away permanently. I'm not saying that, but within that emotion, you will get, if you sit with yourself for 30 minutes or for 60 minutes or for 2 hours or just by yourself without any stimulation, you will get all of the information you need about what that anxiety is made of, where it came from, at what point in time you acquired it, and what it's telling you about your expectations in the world, which anxiety is just negative expectation. It is, gosh, Myron Golden had a really good, watch his TED talk. Something about like how to get people, how to influence people to do what you want, or something like that. Just type in Myron Golden TED talk, and it has influence in the title. But his definition of anxiety was like, I think he said like full faith in that which I don't desire. Because he says anxiety is, in that TED talk, is essentially a type of faith and a type of trust, but it's just trust in the direction that I won't get what I want, that the things that are not conducive to what I want to see, I have full faith in those things happening. That's all anxiety is. So, or, essentially just fear. But if you sit with yourself, we don't allow time and space for our emotions to manifest. And I know this, it wasn't until I started having long periods of solitude and long periods by myself to even, was it, with a coach or a therapist or anything like that, those things are great. I've worked in those capacities. I'm not saying that other people can't assist you in shining the mirror on yourself. I'm not saying that. But it wasn't until I, find to know thyself. It wasn't until I had deep periods of quiet solitude till I was able to recognize that I had spent so many years masking the reasons for my depression and anxiety. So I believed that I had to have another person in order to show me that I was loved and that I was worthy and that I was special. But the energetic state of my origin, what was going on in my I am, when I sat in the center of my heart space, the energy that was present, the emotion that was present was wounding from childhood, was a lack of worthiness, was a belief in my inherent badness as a person. So that when I then manifested a person into my life, that person then just mirrored everything back to me. It wasn't really about having a specific person, because yeah, I got my specific person, but the state of my energy within, which then unconsciously was fueling a lot of thoughts about how I had to show up in a relationship, how I had to fix them, how I had to be a fixed version of myself, how everything had to be perfect. But all of that was so masked, it was so clouded, because I spent all my time focused on this person and focused on these external events and focused on, building this image of myself. I had no idea that the energetic state of my origin was anxiety, was fear, was I didn't realize that I didn't actually like myself, and that I was seeing that manifested as a mirror in other people. So you have to look at your energetic state of origin. You have to look at your field. If you were to imagine a field of energy around you that is vibrating and that is resonating, which is what's happening on an electromagnetic level, then what is that field? What is it saying? What does it consist of? And what it consists of are, when you fall into a state, you don't fall, but I mean, when you intentionally access a state of silence for a period of 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, what comes up? Or maybe more directly, what are you afraid of? I mean, I'm sure you know what you're afraid of. Are you afraid of not being good enough? Are you afraid of things never changing? Are you afraid of never being able to see the reality of your divine creator because it hasn't manifested yet? Well, if it hasn't manifested yet, then what does that mean to you? I mean, audit yourself. Look at your belief. You can make a column. What do I believe about myself? What do I believe about the world? What do I believe about other people? And then, yes, those are going to be made of thoughts, but more importantly, those thoughts, if they're beliefs that you have accepted as true, a common one being, I can't trust, members of a certain gender, or the world is going to hell in a handbasket. That was a belief that I had. And I, at a point in time, continued to see evidence for that, because you'll always see what you're looking for. And what you're looking for is what you're certain of. What you're certain of is what you have accepted. And what you have accepted has a reality and truth inside your heart space, meaning that you've not just accepted it as a belief system, but it is a reality in your nervous system. It is an emotional reality for you. It is a reality in the state of energetics resonating around you, and that is what you're going to see manifested outside of you. What is the energy moving around you? It doesn't matter. You could be the most smiling, appearing, the most smiling, positively appearing person. And I've several years ago, I did a lot of coaching work with people pleasers, and people pleasers are actually very angry people, because while on the outset it looked like they enjoyed helping people and were kind and generous and loving, and this is generally what they thought about themselves, they were actually very hurt and very angry inside. So they had they had belief systems that said, I'm not good enough unless I prove it. I'm not worthy unless I'm of service. I have no value to other people unless I'm depleting myself. That's the belief systems. The energetic state of origin, or the energy in motion around them, is, I'm unworthy. I'm not accepted as I am. I'm not generally liked. I don't feel as though I can be who I am. I don't know who I am. There's a lack of clarity around what I want, and I let people dictate to me what they need for that to then become my needs. But I guess more succinctly, the emotions there would be dread, would be anxiety, would be abandonment. Those would be the energetic states of origin. Those energetic states of origin then manifest as belief systems. And then what does that person then see in their world? They see the energetic state of origin of constant abandonment or threat of abandonment, meaning you don't really know if these people are here for you or if they're here for something else. And because you believe that they're here for what you can do, then you're manifesting people that want you to do a lot of things. That you're attracting needy people, you're attracting takers, you're attracting narcissists, you're attracting energy vampires. Well, the energy vampire is made out of, or if we're looking at just a 3D manifestation, they're made out of the belief system that I have to be a good enough source, meaning I have to give myself away in an appropriate manner that is deemed by the other person. I have to give them what they want in order to enjoy their company or to experience a a relationship that I believe is, of love or of friendship or whatever it means. And if that energy vampire then is always, let's just say they're always criticizing you, or they're always putting you down, or they're always making these implications that you're unworthiness, or maybe you're just around them and you're maybe they're with their other friends and you see how they interact with their other friends, but then they interact with you and there's this sense of being left out, or the sense of not being good enough when you're around this person. You feel as though you're not up to par with how they view other people and the rest of the world. Okay, well, then that energy vampire, they're responding to your field. They are in line with the belief systems you have about yourself, and then they're responding to your field. If your field around you says, I'm unworthy, because that's what's sitting in the state of your I am, if that's what's sitting in the state of your energetic origin, that is what you are going to see. That is the field of energy swirling around you. So yes, audit your belief systems, but go deeper than those belief systems, because the belief systems, again, if there are things that you have become, and they wouldn't be a system of belief if they hadn't acquired some degree of certainty. Well, that degree of certainty means, again, that you've accepted that. And how does it feel to have accepted that? How does it feel to have accepted that over a period of, maybe traumas or relationships or job situations or different things, that I am unworthy, I am incomplete? What does that create emotionally? And if you need a list of emotions, look up a list of emotions, because it's not just going to be as simple maybe as sadness. But what emotions then? So then if those are the emotions that you're predominantly feeling, then that's what's going to be happening in your field. I spent many years understanding this, but understanding it in an incomplete way, because I knew and had internalized the information that joy, freedom, clarity, peace, abundance, that's what's necessary in order to create a life that's worth living. But I was piling all that. So learn from me. I spent freaking 5-10 years learning this. I spent a lot of time piling, I am joyful, I am peaceful, really trying to untangle myself, trying to experience abundance, trying to be all about that positive lifestyle and those positive affirmations. But what I was doing is piling that on top of all of that negativity that I had not yet addressed and did not understand. I had not audited my belief systems. I didn't know what I believed about myself. I didn't know why my life didn't look the way that I wanted it to look. I didn't know why I had all of these takers around me. I didn't know why I wasn't experiencing the types of things that I felt represented my highest good. I thought that meant I had to work harder on being positive. It is really through understanding, because that's what I'm saying. The divinity, your wholeness, you being a quote unquote child of God, child of the universe, being the all that is, being an individualized expression of source consciousness, that already is. That's already here. You don't need to work up to that. There's already abundance, there's already joy, there's already wealth, there's already peace. But those things have been clouded by an awareness. That divinity of wholeness and of consciousness has been clouded by a specific awareness on the fragmented existence of our ego personality and the experiences that we've had. So you have to come to understand how those experiences have created belief systems, how they've created an energetic state of origin, how those belief systems and an energetic state of origin has created a field then around you, and how that field is then responsible for the manifestations you see, because you're only going to come in your field is the manifestation of you. It is the state of your I am. Well, the state of your I am is not just the stuff I'm saying. It's not just the stuff I want. It is what is happening with me on an energetic level. And yes, those are made of thoughts. Yes, they're made of emotions, and all of that combines belief systems being collections of thoughts. All of that comes to create the state of you. So you don't then need to even just change your personality or become a different person. Yes, that can absolutely work for you, quote unquote identity shifting, or I've talked about self-concept, that can absolutely work, but not if you're piling one identity on top of, if you're piling an abundant identity, as I tried to do, on top of an identity of lack, because that abundant identity is not actually really an abundant identity. It's just a new mask for you to convince yourself that you're doing some type of work, when really you're just reaffirming all that already is, because you haven't actually done the work to look at what's there. So it's your field, and your field is made of you. How are you normally feeling? What are you normally thinking? What are you typically expecting? What have you accepted to be true? Those are the things that you're going to see in your world. And then if the stuff that you want doesn't match the perspective you have of yourself and the world and the state of your I am, then that stuff is going to continue to be separate from you, because you haven't understood yourself to be the source of all things around you. With that, signing off of today's transmission of the Ministry of Assumption Absolute, my name is Lucian Francois Mateo St. James. Thank you for co-creating this moment with me. Check out the Liberation Chronicle. It is the written word of this platform, and dispatches from the Edge of Obvious, a Spotify exclusive podcast. I thank you for co-creating this moment with me, and remember to be good to yourselves and others, because everybody's just an expression of you anyway.